Hello, everybody, and welcome to the jam session. That is episode number 120. What a good number. 120. Live on your Thursday night, November the 6th. And this is, we are, Darren, 7 subscribers away from 3,400. So
I love that. I love
so
that.
close.
I love that.
Great number. So we'll keep getting there. And one cool thing, I was granted this opportunity at work the other day. I was given this award for Employee of the Quarter or whatever, and so I get to be on this little video and for the whole company, and they're going to let me talk about the podcast and share and stuff like that.
I love that.
That'll be cool. So a little extra opportunity. Also, the flyers are almost ready. It's got National Tax Solutions on one side, around the ballpark on the other. So we'll be placing an order for 5,000 flyers to be distributed at the parade on December 6th. So I'm reaching out to some former guests, see if they'll come to the parade and kind of help pass them out and all that good stuff. Definitely need the support with that. So super excited. We're getting into crunch time. I think we're just over 6 weeks away now till the event, the Family Christmas Extravaganza. So getting excited, as are you. And tonight,
Good time.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time. And I've mentioned before, over 15,000 people coming to this event, and so many lives are going to be changed, restored. They're coming. They think they're coming for just some free stuff, but they're going to leave not just full from food. They're going to be spiritually fed as well. So that is awesome. And Mom, I saw you earlier tonight at Young at Heart, but she says, "Hi, Darren. Can't wait to see you at the extravaganza." She's always one of the first people to get there. Like, Mom's always there like an hour before the event opens. So that'll be fun. And we are tonight, this Thursday evening, coming on a little bit later than usual, and which is perfectly fine. So as you guys jump in, please let us know that you're here. And if you're watching this later tomorrow, drop a comment. Let us know what you think of the episode. But before we talk about what we're going to talk about, we always have to acknowledge our good friends over at National Tax Solutions, who, I might add, are going to be walking right behind the extravaganza in the parade. So one big happy family at this thing. So, but Darren, would you mind sharing about Christopher Bennett and his wonderful team?
Hey, if you're dealing with tax issues, maybe you're behind on filings or you got hit with a lien, let me tell you about National Tax Solutions. These folks know their stuff and they actually care about helping you fix it. I've heard people, whether they're from Palm Bay, Fort Pierce, or all over, who said that Chris Bennett and his team turned a financial nightmare into peace of mind. That's the kind of help you really want to have on your side. So if tax stress is keeping you up, call 855-627-4829, visit NashvilleTaxSolutions.com. or email info@NashvilleTaxSolutions.com. Nashville Tax Solutions. Real people, real relief, wonderful service.
Yes, thank you. And going to get an opportunity to, of course, we'll get, with Christopher Bennett. I'm excited for that too. Darren, you'll get to meet Christopher and his family and stuff. So that's going to be super cool. But tonight, guys, we are going to have some fun. So those of you that joined us 2 weeks ago and 3 weeks ago prior to that, we did the top 10 most ridiculous baseball rules. And then that was a lot of fun. And we did another similar one to that. So tonight I thought it'd be a lot of fun to cover 10, and it said top 10. We might get to more of that, of the most strange, unique, awkward sports stories that you may or may not have heard about. This won't be just specific to baseball, kind of covers some other sports as well. So I'm not talking about on-field stuff that happens, like, the occasional injury. I'm talking about stuff that injured players off the field or just some wonky, wacky things. And I actually have not read through this list similar to the last time. I wanted to just be to be spontaneous and have fun with it as we go. So Darren, I'm sure you've heard of some of these, some you might not have. But that's what we're going to do tonight for this episode 120. So I'm excited to get into it. If you check out the thumbnail there, make sure you hit the like button on this video, hit that share button, subscribe, Again, just 7 subscribers away from 3,400. But most importantly, turn the notifications on so we know that you know that we know that you know that we're here. So that's super important. So I got confused saying all that. But Darren, without giving anything away, do you think you have an idea of some that we're going to cover here tonight?
Well, I think so, but I'm sure there's a lot that I don't know. I'm sure a few will jog my memory, but I'm actually looking forward to this. When you came up with this idea, I was like, this is going to be so much fun.
Yeah, it's something unique, and we'll have fun with it. Like I said, I haven't even read through these, so I think 1 or 2 I peeked at, but so this will be fun. And again, guys, if you're watching this live or if you're watching this later, please, the best is interaction. We love that we have the subscribers that we do, but it's a lot more fun when you guys are interacting and sharing and stuff like that. So whenever it is that you watch this, drop some comments in there so we know that you're here. So with that said, I'm going to start with some Major League Baseball injuries that happened back in the day. I do have a nice clip, though, for the first one. This one here. Have you heard of the baseball player named Glenn Allen Hill? The name from blast from the past.
Astros?
He was on a few different teams, I believe.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
You can read that too. My computer's do that wonky thing tonight where it's not showing me the thing. So if you can read what it says on there.
It says the curious case of Glenn Allen Hill and the nightmare of spiders.
The nightmare of spiders. Okay. So apparently at some point, Glenn Allen Hill, during the season, was in a deep sleep. He broke a glass table while sleepwalking to escape spiders in a nightmare, cutting both his hands and his feet. That is the that is the story. Awful. So awful. And I love, that happens. And so the reality, okay, this just happened. Then you got to heal yourself, get bandages and stuff like that. And then you have the realization like, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to explain this to my manager, to the skipper, as they would call him.
Yes.
That this happened and I can't play because I was having a nightmare and sleepwalking and with spiders and things like that. So I've never heard that story, but I don't know how much time he missed for that. But I imagine if he had some lacerations and things like that, probably was out a little bit. But have you ever heard of that story?
I never heard that story, and I'm shocked. Because that's like a good story.
Glenn Allen Hill. So he was. The last year he played was in 2001. So he's 60 years old right now. But he played with the Blue Jays, Indians, Cubs, Giants, Mariners, Yankees, and the Angels in his 13
So everybody career. But the Astros.
Pretty much. And the Mets were not on the list.
That's right.
Mets might sign them now. But so blast from the past. Remember that guy just wasn't a star or anything like that. Yes, Salim, the Paddington he's always with us. He's always here. He really is. And he's always spot on. Like he knows, what we're going to be talking about. And he's the most prepared guest that we can have on this show. He really is. And, again, tonight we're talking about sports injuries and stuff like that. He had an unfortunate setback this past Wednesday. I don't know if you knew this, Darren, but he himself, I know.
But he had an owie.
He got an owie, but I do feel bad. But like you said on numerous occasions, perhaps if he wore pants, this wouldn't have happened.
Well, exactly right. And so there's two things, right? And we are a G-rated show here, but what is wrapped? It's not his arm. Like you'd think it's maybe his hands in a sling, but it's not really a sling. It's like a pouch. Like I don't know. It's like he has a hernia and I don't know, but we just hope that he gets better.
Right. He's got to be there. We've got a show to do on Sunday. So hopefully he heals up. But he's still with us in the right-hand corner doing his thing. So let's go ahead and go into that next one. So Sammy Sosa. So this one is not as humorous. It happens to the best of us, but during his playing times, he had such an episode of 2 violent sneezes that he completely messed up his back, suffered back spasms, and I believe missed 3 full games important games during the season because of the violent sneezes. Do you recall that story? Because I do. That one I remember.
Yes, that one I do remember, and I laugh because we, like you said, we all have that. It's horrible, and it gets worse as you get older. But it's very, very true.
It's a real thing because just getting out of the car sometimes, I'm like, oh God,
Yeah.
So, but I'm not in a pennant race like he was. So there you have it. Now,
well, that could be.
Yes. We have to give a shout out to the late, great Ricky Henderson made our list as well. So he actually missed several games with frostbite on his foot after leaving an ice pack on too long during an August game. I believe he was out 6 to 7 games, if I'm not mistaken.
Can I stop you there? Now,
yes,
it's kind of rare that happens in the pros, but it happens a lot in travel sports, in team sports, because people think you can go to sleep with your ice pack. Don't do that, people. You're going to get frostbite. It's not going to end well. Do not. Way too many people I've seen get ready for the big game, and they do that, and it's not good.
Yep, it's not good. Ellie mentions roid rage, and Burgerman 31. I remember that when this happened. Yes, this one made a lot more headlines than other ones did, but I definitely do remember this situation for sure. So, so talking about roid rage, Eileen mentioned roid rage. So sometimes these players get injured because they're just really upset at the situation. So our guy Steve Sparks, I don't remember Steve Sparks, but Steve Sparks dislocated his shoulder while trying to rip a phone book in half. So apparently he got frustrated at something that happened. You do remember that one?
Yes, I do.
What do you remember? But I don't recall that.
No, I just remember because I used to work for a phone book company.
Yes, the yellow
and
page.
They used to tell the story that somebody was kind of trying to do that. Yeah.
Was it like being pulled out of a game too early? Was it performance or just
performance? Just you do knucklehead things in the locker room. And,
dislocated absurd of a shoulder. That sounds but it happens. Now, when is the last time this next example happened to you, Darren? This is the case of Mickey Tettleton, and he unfortunately had to miss some time due to athlete's foot caused by tying his shoes too tightly.
So it's so interesting because I'm actually looking at it, so I have it. It's funny you mentioned about athlete's foot, but if you ever read the book by John Wooden about the key to success, and the key to success is doing everything precisely. And he would do, and this has been validated. It's not an old wives' tale. Bill Walton, the late great Bill Walton, used to talk about this as well. He did a full practice on how to put on your socks and your shoes for that reason.
Really? So that was
seriously. Yeah.
That's serious. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. You type it in and say, did John Wooden have one whole practice each year on how to put on socks? And it'll come up. Yeah.
Talk about thinking of everything, right?
Yeah, because his feeling was whether it was whether it was a bruised heel, was it a friction burn? He was way ahead of his time about that. He would do a full lesson on that.
Now, when did with Mickey Tettleton, was he 70s, 80s? I feel like he was 80s, 90s. But
80s, 90s.
80s, 90s. Okay, cool. So moving up, Ryan Klesko. I remember watching a lot of his games. So he unfortunately pulled a muscle while picking up his lunch tray. That's a rough one right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the lunch trays, they're not too heavy though, so I'm not sure how much food you put on the plate there, but that's weird. Rough. I didn't hear. Hopefully, he didn't miss a game for that because yes, very strange.
Yeah. Not good.
Now, what do you know about our guy Brett Barbary? I knew nothing about Brett Barbary, but apparently he did something pretty stupid. But I want to see if you've heard about the Brett Barbary story.
No, I do not.
You do not know the Brett Barbary story. Okay.
No.
So Let's do the drum roll.
Ooh, I like that.
So our guy Brett Barbary, he decided to miss a game after rubbing chili juice in his eyes. So that's a rough one. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't on purpose. Been there before. I remember not too long ago, I had the shampoo. I have the tea tree shampoo. I remember I just had this itch, and I was like, I think I'll be fine. And I just like nipped the corner, and it was like 27 minutes of agony. Just a little bit of tea tree got in there, and it was rough. So I imagine if it happened right before game time, he was not able to play. But Roger Craig. When did Roger Craig play? Because that name sounds familiar.
Roger Craig played in the early 60s. He taught everybody to split finger fastball as a coach. That's how you know his name. He was also a pitcher for the Mets. He was a pitcher for the Giants.
And for the Giants and the Mets. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, this is a strange one here, but we're after 9 o'clock hour, so it's okay to talk about this one. But apparently, he had the unfortunate incident of cutting his hand on a bra strap.
We'll leave that right there.
Yeah. Well, hard to go much in depth. Not sure why, how, but let's look at Eileen's example. The weirdest sports-related injury I ever had is because Joe Ray talked me into playing. 2 hours later, I took a line drive to the shin. There's still an indent 10 years later. Yes. Joe he was such a nice guy. And so he would talk us into doing these things. And he was never really prepared. Like he wanted to play, but he was never prepared. Like I can remember countless times where I would play for him and we're running out of the dugout to go on the field and none of us know what position that we're playing yet. And so he was just he was like, oh, we'll figure it out. And he was
a big picture guy. Guy. Let's all play. What are we going to play? I don't know.
God bless his heart. Rest in peace. But I remember that practice where this happened, and that injury is real. I think there was also a Steve Gilly indent. You got Eileen too as well. This guy Steve would throw the ball like you wouldn't believe. Not always accurate, but yeah. And ouch. But yeah. Joe's other thing too, if you remember Eileen too, he's always thought he was faster than he was. So like if he was at first and he hit and the batter hit a hard line drive to left field, he thought that meant let's round second and go to 3, even though the left fielder is like got the ball in his glove ready to throw. Joe Ray's mind, I'm going for 3, I don't care. So he always had to yell, Joe, no. That was
big signs. No.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that happened. And getting back to the list here, just a couple more. Adam Eaton, that's a name that's more relevant, I believe. He's more in terms of more recent. Stabbed himself with a paring knife while trying to open a DVD case. I don't blame that one at all. Those of you that understand the DVDs and more so the CDs, the old CDs, because those were terrible. Because when you know how they had the plastic thingy, right?
Yep.
You would finally, the scissors wouldn't do it, biting wouldn't do it, tearing and pulling wouldn't do it. You eventually finally got it, but then you realize that you still got to peel the little plastic that's around, and you get a little bit off, but it's not enough to come all the way off. Then you start biting it, and then next thing you know, it's just you got to walk away.
You don't want to listen to the Wiggles anymore. I don't want to listen now because I don't want to open that thing.
Yes, yes, Eileen, I remember that one as well. We had some good times though, even though there were a lot of injuries to be had. Yeah, definitely had some good times. Whether we were prepared or not, it was still a good time. But so Adam, I understand. Hopefully you weren't out too long, but that's a real injury. You can lose your temper while trying to open those old CDs and DVDs back in the day. So this one, moving on to the world of football and crazy football injuries, Darren. Have you heard the name of Rashad Johnson back in 2013?
Interesting. Just now.
just now. Well, during a game, his hand got stuck between the goalpost and the uprights. No big
Ooh,
deal, but it resulted in a severed finger that he reportedly played the rest of the game with before going to the hospital.
unfortunately, that happens in basketball a lot more than you think when they try dunking and it gets caught in the net.
Yes, when you look up weird injuries basketball, it's all stuck like that kind of exactly. So it happens more, and I imagine too with the cold weather sports, like when you're playing football, like in Lambeau or something like that. I imagine those kind of injuries happen a lot more than than you'd like to think.
Oh yeah,
But now another common thing, this happened in Major League Baseball. I don't forget the name of the guy's escaping me, but he hit a walk-off home run and then he jumped to go celebrate at home plate and he pulled something. It was out for an entire year. Forget who that was, but in football, if you remember Bill Grammatica,
I remember watching that. I was watching
tore
that
his
live.
ACL while celebrating a field goal, out for the season.
Listen, let me ask you this, right? And I know I sound like a curmudgeon, but now you just won a nice award at work, right? You did, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you know sports and very well. That's why you do what we do. But now, like when you do something good at work, do you ever like spike the paper by the copy machine? Do you ever, like you finish a report? Do you ever like, whoa, yeah? Or do you just go on your day?
Every project they slam down and I'm like celebrating.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately,
Grammatica, I remember watching. I go, you're a field goal kicker. You're supposed to kick the field goal. Like you are jumping up and down. You now hurt yourself. For what reason?
Right. Wasn't his nickname like Automatica? Or
yes,
Automatica?
Exactly. That's exactly. Yeah. And he had a brother who was almost as good.
Yeah. Get inside, then you can celebrate with that kind of thing. It's just because I don't remember when during the season that happened, but it says he was out the rest of the year. So I imagine it was not a quick. It must have been significant.
Now that's different. That's different than with when Diaz got hurt. They won a big game. That was a whole different thing. It's not like kicking a field goal in the first quarter against Miami for no reason.
Yeah.
He was on the Bucks at the time. That's right, Soup.
Yep, Soup's always on it. Was on the Bucks, and speaking of just on a side football note, crazy story there with the Dallas Cowboys with a player who actually scored a touchdown this past Monday during Monday Night Football and was found passed away today, 24 years old, mental health issues is so far what's being talked about. It seems like he sent a text message saying that his goodbyes and he had a pistol or something on him when everything went down. So you just never know what somebody's going through.
Yeah, that's right. That's why we should never judge anybody. Don't judge.
And that's there was a political. We're not going to get into political debates and stuff like that. But there was a professional wrestler. He got released by WWE many years ago, like 3-4 years ago. He's working in one of the indies now. But he posted on Facebook how it said, and again, we're not going to get into it. That's a whole nother story. I don't want to set Eileen off here in the chat, but he mentioned in his chat, he was saying the same day, his name was Mansoor. He's from India, I think it was, or no, I'm sorry, he was from Saudi Arabia. And his post was, we get the mayor we want, and Dick Cheney passes away in the same day, and was like celebrating. And so I never really engage in social media, like things like that, because it's just going to make it worse. But so I happened to open the comments, and the first 11 comments were all, heck yeah, so awesome. I'm like, okay, whether you like somebody, you dislike, like the fact that all 11 people were celebrating his death, like I don't understand how we've gotten like this. But
well, it's unfortunate, but and this is not political to say that our society is really desensitized to death, and we live in a society, in my opinion, that just shuts the video game off and reboots and restarts. And if you don't like somebody, you don't care about them. I mean, aren't we supposed to? Those are the people we're supposed to pray for more than anything else. Those are the people that we're supposed to care for, and it's not easy, but this is what you have to do. I get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand where people are so judgy, about that, and they cheer death. They cheer death.
Here's the photo real quick. So the guy on the right, his name is Mansoor. So he was in WWE for a little while, and that was his. That's his tweet, or his. I don't know if you call it X post tweet still, even though it's not Twitter. I don't know, but yeah, that's his. And so again, every single comment was in support of this, like not like just celebrating someone passing away, like it was like they won the lottery. Like it's just awful. So
yeah, I don't get it. I wish him some discernment. And I want to show some grace by saying I just hope he learns from this really bad display.
Yeah. And what I say to him is
excellent.
Heal for life. So getting back into the sport. So this one may take the cake of all the ones that we've said so far. This is unfortunate. But so unfortunately, Albert Turk Edwards, back in 1940, his cleats got caught in the grass during the coin toss for a game, causing his knee to buckle and ending his career. I was not around in 1940, but that sounds terrible. So your cleats stuck and you never get to play again during a coin toss. Like how horrible is that? Like
that's terrible.
My goodness. And
I
don't even know.
It's unfortunately it happens. It's terrible.
And Austin's Sunday League, Florida Avenue, hit a line drive to the third baseman, snap her wrist. She caught the ball, though, and I was out. That sounds like a tough third base. You got to be prepared.
It's the hot corner. The hot corner.
Yeah, hot corner. That's why a lot of our leagues, like in our league, you have to at least be 18 to play the infield because you never know, especially when you start introducing senior bats and things like that. So you can't just put any guy at third base. That's a big no-no.
Nope.
But
I got a baseball one.
Okay.
So Kevin Mitchell needed emergency dental work on a tooth that was damaged. Do you know why?
I do not know why.
Because he microwaved a chocolate donut and it went wrong.
Okay.
True story. Yeah.
True story. Was he going to eat said donut with a knife and fork?
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Right?
What an episode that was.
The donut is perfectly shaped for you to pick up.
Yeah, I know.
I got two more for you if you want.
Two more? Okay. Wait.
Yeah. Okay, Jabba Chamberlain suffered an ankle injury while jumping on the trampoline with the kids.
Oh, poor guy.
Poor guy. And a soccer player, Darren Bernard, wasn't keeping a close enough eye on his new puppy. Legend has it that he slipped after the puppy did a little business on the floor, and he slipped on it and tore his knee ligament.
Oh, we do have audio of that.
Very good. You're everywhere.
That's unfortunate right there. Oof. Do you think they kept the puppy? Hopefully they kept the puppy. But.
Well, how about this? You ready?
Yes.
Okay. The last one is a former Met. Okay.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So Olympic swimmer Ryan Lochte tore his MCL after catching a teenage fan who jumped into his arms.
Okay.
Uh,
How
now,
long
I
is he
remember
out for? Season and a half?
it doesn't say, but
Okay.
that would be awful. And do you sue the fan? I don't know. Um, so Major League catcher, your favorite New York Met of all time. I know you had his jersey, Brett Maine. Um,
Yeah. So yeah.
Correct.
So,
This is the same injury we were talking about earlier, but the way that he got it is funnier. You ready? Okay.
yes.
Major League catcher Brent Maine was once sent on the injured list following back spasms that were triggered by looking both ways before he crossed the street. True.
True story. Well,
Looking both ways.
that puts us in line with the infamous Plaxico Burress story there with
Yes.
poor guy, wide receiver, accidentally shot himself in the upper thigh at a New York City nightclub.
Yeah.
He didn't miss did he play the rest of that season, I believe? Pretty sure.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It was-
They were they were called, I'm sure. And
the popo were called.
yeah, I'm just pressing buttons here, kids.
No, I love it.
But what do you call it? I remember, and wasn't there? It was a football player. It's not on this here, but there was a football player that something with fireworks and his pinky or something.
Yes. I don't remember who, but that did happen.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. And then we all know what happened to poor Bobby Ojeda, right?
Yes.
He took off the top of his finger right before the playoffs when he was doing his gardening. And Ron Darling said, come on, well, you could pay somebody to do that.
Right?
They reattached it, but yeah.
Now, other sports are not out of the clear either. Bobby Cruikshank. I don't know if you're a big golf fanatic, but 1934 in the U.S. Open, Bobby
I missed that one.
Cruikshank appeared to be on his way to winning his first major on the PGA Tour. He had the lead on the 11th hole when a wayward shot miraculously bounced off a rock and onto the green. He was so overjoyed, he threw his club in the air, exclaiming, "Thank you, Lord," only for it to clatter down on his head, requiring several stitches, and meant he played the final 7 holes in 5 over par to finish 3rd place. Poor guy. So, but he looks like, and I can't share the photo, but it looks like he was dressed very well. So,
well, it's spiffy.
Spiffy. I mean, although the tie is barely past like the upper stump, yes, that's no good.
Here's Laurel and Hardy tie. You got like the little half tie. Not enough.
What? What'd you say?
He had the little Laurel and Hardy tie that just kind of goes like here. That's it.
Yeah.
No. Don't do it. People, listen. I am not the most snazziest dresser in the world, but listen to your old pal Darren. If you're gonna wear a tie, it's got to go to your belt buckle. Anything shorter is it's ill-fitting. All right. Thank you. These and more tips every Thursday and Sunday night. Only here. Thank you.
Only nowhere else.
That's right.
Austin says Glenn Healy cut his left thumb after he slipped cutting the bag. We do not have video of this, but it has.
Austin, that is outstanding.
Was this at
Are you
Florida
kidding?
Avenue? It's got to be at Florida Avenue. As always, things happen. While you're looking that up, this one has to take the cake, though, for the worst in terms of everybody else. So we talked about sometimes people getting their fingers stuck in places and things like that. So poor Swiss soccer player Paulo Diago jumped onto a metal perimeter fence to celebrate his achievement with the fans after he scored a goal. But, and I don't know why it says the recently married Diago, like that's relevant. But, that's why. Because he didn't realize that when he did so, his wedding ring got stuck on the fence. And one-third of his ring finger was completely ripped off. When he jumped down, he was given a yellow card for delaying the game because he was searching for his missing finger.
First of all, the referee horrible.
So he got penalized because he took time looking for his priorities.
Listen, look, we love soccer, right? But this is a sport where everybody flops and they stop the game. Time moves, they added extra, but you know what I mean. But he gets a delayed game for losing a finger. Figure that out. Horrible.
Yeah, it's horrible. I can't believe that would be okay. Like, poor guy. I got to look it up. I don't know. It's like an unsolved mystery. I have to know. Did he find his finger? I don't know.
Find out. Kids want to know.
Yeah. Yep. But we will put our investigative team on that one. As we kind of look through just a few more here. Let's see here. Where was this? And then there was a pitcher, Brian Anderson, for the Diamondbacks, that he had an incident with the iron. He put his right cheek on it, and it fried the side of his face, but he didn't actually miss any time. He just had a giant welt on his face from that. So, don't remember that one. Here in the comments. But I mean, you think of, now when you think of the on-field play too, like, is there some that you can think of? I'll start with one, and if you want to throw some in there, not on the not so funny ones. Like, we remember, of course, the incident with Curt Schilling with the bloody sock and that whole situation. He just went out there and gritted it and went for it. So can you remember any other significant injuries that just jump off the page?
I was at the house on 32nd Street, and it was the most horrible thing I ever seen on a ball field, other than the death of the umpire. I saw that on the news when he passed away before the start of the Reds game. So there was a pitcher for the Giants named Dave Trevecchi. Many of you who watch him might know this. And he had some arm problems. And so they had to cut away some of his muscles, but his muscle in his throwing arm. And he made this wonderful comeback. And he's pitching in Montreal. And he throws a pitch, and you just hear snap. And he snapped his arm, and he ended up losing his arm.
He lost it. Wow.
Yep.
And this was when again?
You were alive. No, I would say late 80s, early 90s. Dave Trevecchi. I should look it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oof. That's rough. That is rough. I'm trying to think. I know there has to be. I'm sure there's dozens, but the Schilling ones, jumps out. Just thinking back to the World Series game 7 there when Pages or whatever, he completely just knocked Kiki Hernandez for a loop and just knocked him out to catch that ball and prevent the Blue Jays from winning that. That had to hurt. Speaking of which, Kiki Hernandez I saw as one of the free agents for the Dodgers. And when you look at his stats in the season, I think it was like 201, like 7 home runs, 34 RBIs. But then when he's in the playoffs, he's like, you have to put him in the lineup. Like he's like an anomaly. Like he's the guy, and he wouldn't fit in with the Mets because they already have too many infield pieces and utility guys as it is. But that's a guy you'd want to have on your team. Doesn't matter what he does during the regular season. He's going to produce for you. So just thought that was interesting. And Austin shared about his old computer teacher in middle school caught his ring finger on the hoops while playing basketball. Yeah, that seems to be that's like most common basketball injuries. It's always that. I can't imagine the pain with that. Lost his finger. Yeah, unfortunately, I've heard that happens a lot more than it should. So, and when you're playing, the adrenaline kicks in. I remember one time I slid into third and someone's cleat hit the side of my nose or something. And it was bleeding everywhere, and I felt no pain at all because the adrenaline was kicking in. And they're like, "You good, man?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." And I'm starting to run the outfield. Like, "You should get that checked out." "Oh, no, I'm fine." And then come to realize I'm just bleeding profusely. But when you're playing and all that stuff, the adrenaline, you don't feel anything.
No, that running on adrenaline is a very real thing. I sent you the link for Dave Javecki, if you want to look at it. But basically what happened was in September 88, Javecki was diagnosed with a tumor in his left arm. He underwent surgery the following month, and then Dave Javecki returned to pitch for the Giants in August of 89 and won his first major league start. That was a big thing. That was a big deal. In his second start, he broke his arm throwing a pitch. I mean, he shattered it. He retired from baseball after the season, and then the cancer recurrence, so they had to remove that arm.
Oof. Yep. So I had to have a look at it here. That's oof. And he pitched for the Padres and Giants.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pitched in the World Series with the Padres.
Wow. That's crazy. I'll read the rest. Oop, that's fun.
Yeah. Good catch.
Yeah.
Skills.
Speaking of catch, it's going to be a great, and we want a quick plug here since Austin is on with us. Austin and I, he's spearheading this whole thing and giving him help with it, but really, really excited about this event coming up. And hopefully it's the right event because my computer is acting all crazy. But the round robin softball tournament, there are still some spots left available. If you want to sign up and play, if you're watching this video, we are meeting on Saturday, November the 29th at 8 o'clock at Fred Poppy Park, $20 toy donation to get yourself in. We're going to have the Frosty 5-0 and a K9 demo at 12 noon from the Palm Bay Police Department. We're going to have bounce houses, music, concession stand. We're going to have cornhole boards, all that stuff.
This
It's
is
going to be
so
so
great.
much fun. And you can scan that barcode to register yourself. We're just at over 110 people. We're looking for about 20 more players. So please share this with anybody you know. So, I know, Darren, if you have any contacts in the Cape Cod League that might want to fly down to Florida, we'll gladly put them in this tournament. But we're going to have the draft on the 21st at 6:30, picking our teams. And that's what makes this one unique is it's not bring your stacked team to the field day. It's not a draft where you get to pick your team and all that stuff. This is literally, you do, but it's from a wheel of names and you don't know who you're going to get. We love Wheel of Names here on the Ballpark podcast.
Yes, we do.
So please keep an eye out for that. Spread the word if you are local. And we do need, so like I said, about 20 more players for that. So it won't be too terribly competitive. So don't feel like you don't want to come out because you're worried about, that sort of thing. This is really for fun. All toys benefiting the Toys for Tots. We're going to have concession stand open with food for the day as well. So you definitely want to check that one out. And as mentioned earlier in the podcast, the next time you'll see us live will be Sunday evening, 8 o'clock. If you are a friend or a fan of the series Friends, Hooked on Friends podcast will be joining the show. And we are going to talk all things Phoebe Buffay. We're going to cover her first love interest all the way down to the very end with Crap Bag, or Mike, as you can say.
Yes,
we might even talk a little Vikram in there. You never know.
Yeah.
But we're going to go ahead, start to finish and cover that. We had them on about 6 months ago and just talked about like the sport related episodes, and can't wait to have her back on again. It was a blast last time she was on.
Here's a little teaser for those kids playing at home who were waiting in anticipation. Watch the show right now. Phoebe's relative, was it her twin sister? What show was she on? Played by the same person.
Yes. And if you do not know the answer to that question, I will be very mad at you. So, but what do you call it? As far as the injuries and stuff like that, I think I covered the ones I wanted to. Just some crazy wonky stuff out there, that happened off the field. We, of course, we don't want to advocate for someone getting seriously hurt. It was Kendrick Morales earlier when I was talking about the home run celebration. That's what it was. He went for that. He hit the walk off, and then it was just awful. What happened with him? But what do you call it? So, is what it is. We are now transitioning here for a moment to the off season. So you're starting to see like the Mets, Alonso, Edwin Diaz are not tendered contract, or they're opted for free agency, I should say. Tampa Bay Rays with their closer Fairbanks is opted for free agency. Did see like teams like the Dodgers that that did sign Max Muncy. So some teams are keeping their guys. The one that really stings the most with the Mets, though, is Frankie Montas. Like, there's just something wrong with that. Like, he's picking up his option on his $17 million deal. So it's a 2-year deal. He's not going to pitch for the Mets again next season because this is the last year of his 2-year deal. What an atrocious, terrible contract that was. The Mets have an abundance of pitchers. I really, Darren, I'm interested to get your thoughts on this, but going into the new season, and I don't know how we're already 52 minutes in. That's insane. But it's because we have so much fun on this podcast. But so looking in the next season, I don't want to, like, obviously we have a gem. I'm not saying it's too soon to say that McLean is as good as like Skubal or Skeens or anything like that, but he's legit. I don't think we want to put him as a number one right away. And like the Pirates, you can do that because they're a small market franchise. I think in New York, you put someone like that as an ace right off the bat, could be a recipe for failure. So you have McLean, you have Sproat, you have Tom, you have Holmes, you have Senga, you have Peterson, you have Manaea, have McGill coming back. So like you can't actually have 8 starting pitchers. So something's got to give there. I think that you go for a 6-man rotation, but I think you still need to bring in an ace to anchor the staff. And I know it seems weird when you have 8 pitchers to say that's a big need, but it is a big need. Yes, we need a closer, but the Mets do need an ace to anchor that staff. I think the answer is that both Holmes and Manaea go to the bullpen this season. They can eat up a chunk of innings, because that was the problem with the Mets is these guys would go a third of an inning, 2/3 of an inning every single day, get worn out. If you put 2 guys that are legitimate starters like Holmes and Manaea in the bullpen, you let you can have Peterson in there and you can have Senga in there to correct whatever happened last season in the second half. But I think we need an ace to anchor that staff. What is your thoughts with all of that?
Well, a couple of things to unpack there. First of all, and I don't say this for any shock value but why is Senga on his team? The man does not seem like he wants to pitch. He just, once he got that last injury, he just doesn't seem like he is as dedicated to get back on the hill. You look at what Yamamoto did for the Dodgers. And supposedly they're really good friends, but he definitely does not have that desire to be out there, in my opinion. Anyway, I think the problem with the Mets is pitching staff is they got a lot of 3s, no 1s, like you said. Absolutely right. There are no 1s. So I would take a bunch of these guys, if I have to, package them for an expensive contract that some other team is trying to get rid of. Because, we need a 1. I think McLean is.
We do. And I dropped the link in the chat for those watching. If you go to that website, it's a really cool site, but it lists all the free agents position by position. And as they sign to a new team, they'll actually put a note next in there. Like, for example, if you look under catchers, Tomas Nido, if you remember him, was one of the first ones to sign, but he signed a minor league deal with Detroit on October 30th. So as you see Martin Maldonado retired, so you'll see names there, and then they'll put next to that who is there. But if you look at the starting pitchers that are going to be available in terms of, there's no one better, in my opinion. Like, you want an ace for your staff, there's one. If you look at the list of pitchers, there's one name. Of course, you'd love to have your Skeens in school. The reality is they're not free agents. And if they do get traded, they're going to want half of our farm system. So the name that sticks out to me more than anything else is Framber Valdez from the Houston Astros. Still only 32 years old. He is a guy that I could see anchoring a rotation with everybody else. He's the one that jumps out at me the most. There are some other good names on there, but knowing the Mets, they're going to look at this list and they're going to say, our good friend Aaron Savelli, let's put him on the team. But Griffin Canning, again, he was great for in the short time when he was healthy. Unfortunately, he's a free agent. Love to have him back. Dear God, please do not go after Matt Scherzer or Marcus Stroman.
No.
Again.
No. And by the way, Kev, I got to tell you, I've said that a few weeks ago. I do agree with you. The Yankees need somebody at first. That would make a lot of sense. Though I can see him, like Mike talks about, going up to Boston because that's where his wife's from. I think he has to go to a big market team because he does like the limelight. I think eventually he'll end up with the Rays toward the end of his career. But I want him on the Mets. Stay with the Mets. Why would you get rid of him? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like right now, I mean, how do you feel about the Braves signing the Mets pitching coach and first base coach?
It seems like a Braves thing to do. Like they always seem to take everyone that the Mets release at some point.
Yep.
But I mean, it's tough because like the pitching wasn't the problem. I feel like the pitching was the problem, but it's because they were not used correctly. I wouldn't put it on the pitching coach or anything like that. So I think they're going to do great with the Braves. I hate to see them go. I don't think we see Pete Alonso in a Yankee uniform, though. That would be very frustrating. Not as frustrating as some other teams, but that would be pretty frustrating. Of course, if it was Dodgers or Braves, I think in the Mets world, even though it's like Yankees and Mets, blah, 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 I think it's Dodgers and Braves or Braves and Dodgers above that for sure. So we do need to replace him, though. Like we can't. There's talk about, we can move this guy here, and then we can maybe move Nemo to first, and then we can find this outfield. But you can't. Like when the Braves, even though it didn't quite work out as well for them, when they lost Freddie Freeman, at least they got not Kev Olson, but they got a Matt Olson.
Right.
So if we're gonna lose somebody, and again, I don't want it to be Bellinger or whatever. That's not the fit. I saw that going around the first base. That's not interesting to me at all. Oop, let me plug this in. And so I think this is going to go well into March. I do not see him signing before spring training starts, unfortunately. And as much as I want Alonso, if it means that we get him the third week of March and then he's 3 to 4 weeks behind, then I'm not interested. So we shall see. There's definitely not a lot of names on that list. That are, Goldschmidt's going to be 39. Justin Turner is going to be 42. So you look at these names, first base. Carlos Santana is going to be 41. Right? Rhys Hoskins, I don't know. So if I'm on the Mets, I'm looking at that list and go, there's no one we're trading for. There's no one on this. What are they going to do? Sign Wilmer Flores? Like, I don't know. So,
didn't he just retire? I think Flores retired. Yeah,
he might have. He's still showing not retired on here, but he might have.
He's the captain of the Giants. And by the way, Kev, what do I think about the Giants hiring a college coach? I absolutely love it because, as you probably know, Tennessee is some great ball. He's done some great things there. He can talk to the younger athlete. I lived in California for 16 years in Central California. So go to a lot of Giant games. They are going to love the energy that he brings. And he's just a very cerebral, but not full of hubris. A lot of these young coaches, they come and they have a lot of hubris. That is not the case with this guy. He comes from Tennessee, is a wonderful program. Mm-hmm. And Nemo,
and I like the Nationals hire too. Why not?
Yes.
And Nemo will play first base if we do not get Alonso. I think that's the route that they do go. They'll find a power outfielder. What I don't want, I have no interest in. I understand his appeal with Kyle Schwarber and stuff. I don't want a power hitting DH. I want someone that could actually be on the field. And so that's not the route I would go, for sure. But
I want pitchers that can go 7+ innings every game.
Yeah. Now, what is your solution for center field this coming season? Like which route?
Everybody wants to put the center fielder on first base. No, it should. Listen, if you can't find anybody for center field, re-sign Harrison Bader, who just claimed free agency from the Phillies. That guy, I really enjoyed him in center field. He was fun to watch. I mean, the guy we brought from the Orioles, terrible. It just didn't work out. But I'd bring him back right now. I mean, I don't know who we have on the farm that could play center field, because right now the best center fielder is the guy that they want to put in first base. I
Yeah,
think Nemo's the best
I think
out there.
He has
no arm,
as a
but
center fielder. He's still 30, 31, so they could go that route. The Mets do have a prospect by the name of Carson Bench. That's a center fielder in AAA, but he's only 22 years old. So I think him. There's a Jet Williams, but he's like he can do short, second, outfield. But I think, and actually, Bench is actually listed higher than Tong or Sprout in the farm system rankings and stuff like that. So definitely some good options there.
I like Taylor very much, but he just doesn't hit enough.
Yeah, he doesn't hit enough. He's a guy that I would be fine with on my bench. He was destined to be a starter every day based on that. And, and I see Mike, do you think that Nimmo is too old to be playing the outfield? I mean, he has 3 or 4 short DL stints every year. So I could definitely see that. But if they do re-sign Alonso, I don't know if they're going to try to get if that's the route, then will they do Nimmo at first and Alonso DH? Maybe that might happen. But what do you call it? Kev says, I believe you guys are ending the show, but last thought, I still can't believe what Yamamoto did in the World Series. Just amazing. Yes, we had such a good time. Kevin and I stayed on the phone for the last 3 innings, watched every pitch, and all the stuff that gets talked about, what he accomplished it was
unbelievable
in a World Series. Not the first time it's been done, but I mean, game 6 and 7 to pitch that many pitches, that many innings. He didn't just come in for 1 inning; he came in for 3. Just crazy, remarkable, and I mean, looking into next season now, if you're a Dodger fan, you're thinking you've got Ohtani now going to be back full, probably without limitations. Plus Blake Snell. Hopefully Blake Snell gets some sleep. Every photo looks like he is like 7 months behind in sleep. Kevin would notice. They've got a 1, 2, 3, 4 punch there. I just hope that they let some of the other free agents go to other teams. Spread the wealth a little bit. They already got their 2 championships. Let's not overdo things. But
but what I love what happened, and we talked about this a little bit last time we were together. The Dodgers, for all their wonderful, great players, it was their backup. I mean, Yamamoto did a great job. Don't get me wrong, but it was a lot of their backup guys. Right? It was the right decision to change the center fielder who makes this unbelievable catch. It's the Muncies of the world. The gentleman that hit the home run in the 9th inning was a backbencher. What happens is that wonderful image of those players, the top line players, rubs off on the backbenchers. They see what they do and they just want to contribute. And that was a big team World Series victory. And I was pulling for the Blue Jays. But the Dodgers they did what they had to. Yeah, Dave Robertson's moves are unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it was like the next batter. Like it wasn't like it was immediate.
Yep.
And I saw a lot of the Dodger players, the Magic 8 Ball. But I saw a lot of Dodger players doing, showing up on the late night shows and doing the rounds as expected with that. So just an awesome World Series. And hopefully, I think, Kevin, you were the one that mentioned this, hopefully this brings more eyes to the product. Like a lot of people are hating on it because it's the Dodgers and they spend money. Well, you could look at it that way, but how much sweeter if you're a true fan of the game, how much sweeter is it going to be when the Mets finally, or insert team name here, finally defeat that team? Roman Reigns was champion for 4.5 years, and when Cody Rhodes got the title from him, it meant that much more. Yes, it was hard those 4 years in a row of him winning all the time, but the moment is there. But the Dodgers play the game the right way. Like, yes, they're a high dollar team, but like, how can you be upset about the way that they played, how they did it? And to see some of these guys get an opportunity to ring, I was a big Tampa Bay fan because of Eileen and stuff. And so to see Glasnow get a ring and Snell get a ring, like, good for them. They were never going to get one with Tampa, not because they weren't good enough, but because the manager wanted to take them out of the game after 61 pitches. So, that is, what do you call it? But that's that. So, guys, thank you so much for jumping on with us. Episode 120 again. We are just now 6 subscribers away from 3,400 subscribers. So please share, find someone if they haven't subscribed yet. Ask them why they haven't subscribed yet. Make them subscribe. You want to be here this Sunday if you're a fan of Friends. We are going to do an episode with the Hooked on Friends podcast. Will be our guest, and we're going to talk all things Phoebe Buffay and all the Phoebe relationships throughout the years from start to finish. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you're a Friends fanatic, you want to make sure you are here for that. That will be coming your way this Sunday night at 9 o'clock, or at 8 o'clock, I should say. Until next time, guys, enjoy the rest of your week. Some Thursday night football. Of course, no baseball till the spring, but hope you guys have a great time. Darren, any final thoughts?
Just thank you, everybody. We are so indebted to you. You make us better each and every week because we want to be able to give you. You could be doing a lot, like Mike said, and you're here. We take that very seriously, and we want to provide you some fun, some levity, some facts, and create this communal vibe that we have. It's great stuff.
So with that said, guys, we are done for tonight, and we will see you next time around the ballpark. Good night, guys.